Welcome to Spectrum Sphere, the channel where we dive deep into a myriad of fascinating topics. Today, we're unveiling the storied past of one of your most trusted travel companions, passports. If you're ready for a journey through time, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on our weekly explorations. A passport is more than just a travel document. It's an officially recognized government-issued booklet that verifies your identity and citizenship, granting you permission to enter and travel to different countries. It's a key to the world, embossed with your name, photo, and the authority of your homeland. Diving into the origins of travel documents, we find that the concept dates back to ancient times. Kings, emperors, and sultans would issue letters requesting safe passage for their envoys and traders. These early travel papers were a mark of favor and respect, allowing safe and unhindered journey across distant lands. Historical records show that as early as 450 BC, the Achaemenid Empire of Persia employed the use of travel permits. These documents enabled holders to travel throughout the empire freely, reflecting an early need to regulate and facilitate movement for official purposes across vast territories. During medieval times, safe conducts or safe passes were issued to travelers and couriers, granting protection and officially sanctioned movement through foreign lands. These documents were often a privilege of the nobility or required for merchants and messengers engaging in important business, ensuring their journey was recognized by local authorities. The term passport came into use during the early modern period. It originated from the French word passeport, which literally means pass through a port or departure point. These documents started to become necessary as evidence of one's identity and permission to pass through various territorial borders. The Renaissance, a time of exploration and cultural exchange, significantly expanded the use of passports. Travel became more common for education, diplomacy, and commerce, necessitating a system to verify travelers' identities and purposes. Consequently, states began issuing passports as a means to control movement while fostering international relations. Moving into the 17th and 18th centuries, passports started to become more commonplace and vital for international travel. As empires expanded and the need for secure and reliable identification grew, passports were used to safeguard a country's domestic security and manage its borders more effectively. As the French Revolution shook Europe, it also left a profound impact on travel documents. Revolutionary France introduced the concept of le passeport, a document required for all travelers entering or leaving France. This was a control measure during the turbulent times, ensuring that emigrants and counter-revolutionaries could be tracked. In the 19th century, as international travel increased, the need for a standard passport format became evident. Countries began to adopt more consistent documentation, making cross-border travel somewhat smoother. In 1920, the League of Nations held a conference to further standardize passports, laying the foundation for the modern passport system we recognize today. As we stepped into the modern era, the passport system saw a significant leap in security. By the end of the 19th century, photographs were introduced in passports, marking a crucial evolution. This visual identification thwarted imposters, making international travel safer and adding a personal touch to one's travel documents. World War I dramatically altered the landscape of international travel. Wartime fears heightened the need for secure identification, leading governments to enforce strict passport regulations. As a consequence, passports became mandatory for crossing borders, embedding the notion of controlled movement that remains fundamental to international travel today. In the aftermath of World War I, countries started to formalize border control, leading to the creation of visa requirements. This was in response to growing concerns over national security and the regulation of immigrants and refugees, forever changing how we perceive and regulate the flow of people across borders. With the world grappling with the aftermath of World War I, the League of Nations stepped in, recognizing the need for international passport standardization. In 1920, a conference was convened, resulting in agreed-upon guidelines for passport size, format and contents, effectively streamlining international travel and identification protocols. During World War II, passports underwent a significant transformation. The war intensified the need for secure identification, leading to stricter regulations and controls on travel. Countries heightened surveillance and verification methods to prevent espionage, with passports becoming crucial tools for security rather than merely documents for personal identification. As the Cold War emerged, so did new levels of travel restriction, dramatically changing the passport's role. The ideological divide between the East and the West led to stringent cross-border controls. Travel between the opposing sides often required special documentation, underlining passports' role in geopolitical maneuvering during this tense period. Moving forward into the late 20th century, passports witnessed significant technological advances. To combat forgery and enhance security, features such as watermarks, holograms, and intricate printing techniques were introduced. Biometric data became critical, with many countries embedding microchips holding fingerprint and facial recognition information to tighten travel security further. In the 1980s, we saw a pivotal change with the introduction of machine-readable passports. These passports contained 2 lines of printed text at the bottom of the biographical page, which could be scanned by computers, drastically improving the efficiency and accuracy of border control and reducing the potential for human error. As we entered the new millennium, passports evolved yet again, this time integrating biometric technology. Biometric passports, also known as e-passports, include embedded microchips that store personal data, fingerprints, and digital photographs, significantly enhancing travel security by making it harder for individuals to forge documents or steal identities. Moving into the 21st century, the traditional passport began to embrace the digital age with the introduction of electronic passports, or e-passports. These innovative travel documents contain a small electronic chip which holds biometric information, making border crossings more secure and streamlining the authentication process for travelers worldwide. In the post-9/11 era, the world saw a significant increase in travel document scrutiny. Stricter border controls and more rigorous identity verification became the norm, as countries aimed to fortify their borders against potential threats. Passports were now seen as critical tools in ensuring national security and tracking movements across borders. As the world became more interconnected, countries began to establish visa-free agreements to facilitate easier movement. These accords allowed citizens to travel between nations without the cumbersome process of applying for a visa, promoting tourism and business while reflecting mutual trust and diplomatic relations between the participating countries. Despite the convenience passports offer, they are not without controversy, especially concerning privacy. In an age where personal data is paramount, biometric passports raise questions about the security of sensitive information. Moreover, the tracking capabilities of modern passports have privacy advocates warning of potential overreach and surveillance by governments. As we move forward in time, the disparity in global movement becomes evident through passport rankings. These rankings reveal which countries' passports allow the most visa-free access. This visa-free travel metric can speak volumes about a nation's diplomatic relationships, economic footprint, and even the perceived security risks of its citizens. Looking ahead, we may see a shift towards digital alternatives that aim to streamline travel. Innovations like e-passports, embedded with electronic data and apps that store travel credentials securely on our devices, are emerging. These advancements could soon redefine how we think about and use passports in our increasingly connected world. As we navigate through the era of globalization, passports have become more than just travel documents. They're a key to global access. The ease of travel between countries has transformed the utility of passports, elevating their status to powerful tools for international mobility and opportunities, both for work and leisure. Holding dual citizenship and therefore multiple passports can be a game changer, offering individuals greater freedom to live, work, and travel across borders. It represents not only a practical advantage for global mobility, but also a complex interplay of national identity, with various countries having their own laws regarding dual allegiance. Travel narratives often highlight the stark contrasts in global mobility. Some passports, like those from Japan and Singapore, offer their holders visa-free access to a vast number of countries, symbolizing open doors and opportunity. Meanwhile, passports from countries like Afghanistan or Iraq face stringent restrictions, shaping vastly different travel experiences. Your passport doesn't just determine where you can go, it's also a reflection of your identity. Holders of powerful passports enjoy a world of possibilities and ease, which subtly shapes their view of the global community. Conversely, a less powerful passport can be a source of restrictions and, for some, a burning motivation to overcome barriers. As we wrap up our journey through the history of passports, we're reminded of their pivotal role in shaping travel, diplomacy, and identity. From simple letters to complex, secure booklets, passports are more than just travel documents. They're keys to a world brimming with cultures, experiences, and the promise of discovery. Thank you for joining us on Spectrum Sphere. We hope you found the voyage through the history of passports enlightening. Dive into the conversation below, share your insights, and let's keep the curiosity alive. If you liked this exploration, hit the like button, subscribe, and journey with us again as we unveil more wonders from our diverse world of discovery.